This week on Tune In Tuesday, Tom Clavette is answering your questions. Tom is the car chief for the number 22 Discount Tire Dodge in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. So Tom, can you explain exactly what a car chief does to our followers?
Okay, basically, I look at my position as it's twofold. First and foremost, I get present the car, get it through the NASCAR inspection and make sure that it passes all the templates. And if there's an issue with anything that has to do with NASCAR, then they bring it to my attention, and then we'll fix it at the racetrack, and then I'll pass it on to the shop people what needs to be done. The second part of my job is I'm a liaison between the crew chief and the team. So the crew chief will make his decision on changes that he wants to make, and then I make those changes with utilize with my teammates to make those changes.
What is the biggest difference having Ryan Blaney and Parker Klingerman in the car than having Brad?
Well, Brad brings a wealth of knowledge, and I've been a Brad fan pretty much his whole racing career, and he brings a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience, and he's very specific on what he wants the race car to feel like. So working with Brad, it's more like he knows what he needs the changes that he needs to make in the race car to make it go fast. On the other hand, like Parker, I've had the opportunity to work with him a little bit, and he's very open-minded to some changes that you want to try and at a test, and he's very, very ambitious that way. And Ryan had the opportunity so far twice this year to work with him, and the same thing with him. We get to try some different things. It works or it doesn't work. So it's kind of a neat deal because you've got the experience with Brad and knows what he wants, and then you've got the younger guys that you can help mentor and get them up to speed. It's a lot of fun.
Using the different drivers, other than changing the seat, what else in the car does the team have to change over?
Well, there's a lot of things that actually get changed. Our company, we use a carbon fiber seat, so it's one seat that's in a very specific location in the car, and then we have inserts that are molded to each driver. So basically, we change the inserts for them, like where it supports their legs and their ribs and everything. But some of the other things that we change is the way the shifter is. Some guys want a different feel on the shifter, especially like on road course racing. And the biggest thing is the pedals, because the seats are in a certain location, and you get Brad, who's very, very tall, and then you get like Parker, who's tall too, but there's a difference in pedals, so you have to change the pedal assemblies, the steering column lengths, and there's a bunch of small things that we have to do to accommodate each driver.
What are the typical adjustments you would make during a practice session?
Typical adjustments, well, typical went away about a year ago. We have learned that there's so much what we do for mechanical grip, or what we do in like old school ways now affects aero so much. So there's pretty much a whole bunch of different stuff that will change, like cross weight and springs. And in the Nationwide series, we do what they call coil binding. And coil binding is very dependent on travels and trying to get your travels right and sway bar loads. And the day of typical adjustments is gone. I'm fortunate enough to have a really good race team, and we can pretty much change anything on a race car during practice, so it's not really a big deal.
What is the difference between wedge and a track bar adjustment?
Well, I'm assuming that you're talking about race adjustments, and if you see them during the race and they stick a tool in the rear glass and they're cranking on it, basically the two in the front do wedge, which is wedges crossweight distributed crossweight, and very typically if your car was loose you'd put wedge in, and if your car was tight you'd take wedge out. The track bar adjustment is another adjustment that's done in the rear, and that's a bar that connects the chassis to the rear suspension. And typically if you wanted to free the car up, you would raise the track bar up, or if you wanted to tighten it up, you'd screw it down. So basically the track bar changes the roll center of the rear end.
And that was Tom Clavette, car chief of the number 22 Discount Tire Dodge in the NASCAR Nationwide Series.